Goodjohn joins me. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm brilliant. Yeah, thanks, Adam. Good being back. Good speaking to you again.
Right, well, so I noticed on Facebook, I'd heard you retired, and I spoke to Peter, I spoke to other people, and said you retired, and then I saw a thing on Facebook saying you couldn't sleep one night, and it pretty much sounded like you were coming back. Is that what's going on?
Yes, it's been a pretty mad 2 or 3 months, really.
Yeah.
Just one way or the other. Obviously, I left the gym in Essex. It was just, it's just come from there. Just so much has happened, to be fair. Like to fit it in, move back to Cambridgeshire, which I'm originally from.
Yeah.
Set up my own business.
Yeah, cool. I've seen all that.
Yeah, and then just sort of was watching the Sky Show and Frampton and that on Saturday, and I just haven't really stopped thinking about boxing since.
Really? Well, it was really out of the blue when I heard you retired, to be honest, because obviously I came up to see you end of last year, and you seemed good, you seemed happy. Like, I kind of spoke to you from like the Tyrone Nurse fight on, kind of, and you just signed with Matchroom. Things seemed, on the surface, everything looked pretty good. And then, obviously, the performance against John Wayne Hibbert wasn't the greatest, but even people were saying, he could come again. What happened, basically?
Yeah, I mean, the Hibbert fight, nothing. It hasn't really done anything in the, in the whole moving back thing or moving away from the gym. It was, it was what it was. I struggled with the weight and what have you, and just didn't put in a good performance. And then I pretty much, was penciled in for the 28th of May at UNCUT, another Matchroom show, just to fight there. And basically what happened, just met me and my trainer Pete Sims. We just had a big disagreement.
Yeah.
And it just sort of went from there. Between me and him, we had this, personal issues, and then we just went our separate ways. It was just couldn't be mended. I've been down Essex for about 5 years, so it was a massive thing for me to then say, right, I'm moving back home. And it was just sort of stuck on me a bit, really, the whole retirement thing. To be fair, that month, I just, I hated boxing. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't,
really?
I just sort of, it just got to the point where I was like, that's it now. I'm moving back home, and I don't even want to talk about boxing anymore. So, which wasn't nice for me, because I'm the kind of person who, I used to watch it 24/7. I used to talk about it whenever I got the chance to talk about it, and things like that. So it was a horrible month. Obviously, I had my girlfriend as well. Was working up there in Essex and that, so she's had to move back with me. Yeah, and it was just it was a pretty bad month, really. But I'm in a good place now.
Yeah,
I'm set up. So
okay, and one last thing about that. It said you were going to be on BoxRed. It said you were going to move up to welterweight. I think Peter said as well. He said that was like one of the disagreements you had, that you should stay at light welter. Were you looking to fight a heavier weight? Was that one of the? Because that's what it said on BoxRec as well. Between
me and Pete, I know that Pete didn't want me to move up.
Yeah.
But I've been a light welter fighting at light welter for about a year now.
Yeah.
The Boylan fight, I was walking around at 3% body fat, and I had to end up losing half a stone on the morning of the weigh-in.
Really? The Boylan fight, when you won the English title?
Boylan fight, yeah, honestly. Whoa. And then the Hibbert fight, I had to lose £10 the night before the weigh-in. And then basically what happened, I boxed. We done the drug test afterwards, and I urinated blood because I was so dehydrated. And then 3 days later, I had to go to the hospital because I was still urinating blood. because I was so dehydrated. I was chronically dehydrated. And my family, my girlfriend, that just said, look, do you know what?
Yeah.
Like, if you ever fight at that weight again, we're not going to come watch you. Like, you know, we're not going to come watch you get killed in the boxing ring. You know, and it sort of really hit home. You know, at the end of the day, I was lucky. You know, I was lucky to walk away from that fight. I remember just even warming up, I wasn't myself. But obviously, I wanted to win so much, and I wanted to win that belt and what have you. Yeah. I went in there, and you know, my heart sort of carried me through for 8 rounds. But you know, I got a nasty cut that ended up getting 14 stitches and things like that. And you know, I just sort of thought afterwards, you know what, like, you know, I'm not getting paid enough to get in there and get killed, you know, for the sake of making a weight. So I just got to move up. And at the end of the day, if I'm not putting the performances in either, you know, I've got no choice but to move up.
Yeah.
You know, in the training camp itself, you know, I was sparring so well out in the MGM in Marbella, and yeah, like I say, I got to the last 2 weeks before the fight, and I had to lose like another stone, and I just couldn't do it. Like, my body just couldn't do it anymore. So
well, yeah, you're like over welterweight there, aren't you? Like,
I mean, I would have
welterweight, wouldn't you? If you were,
yeah, I would have had to lose 3 pounds to fight at welter. So. You know, and you know, I don't want to take away from anything away from John Wayne Hibbert and things like that. But at the end of the day, you know, that wasn't me in there. I knew as soon as I got out, you know, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and I just took a bit of a beating for my for the trouble sort of thing. But,
okay, mate. Well, appreciate you being so honest about that, mate. Well, So what's going on now? So what, you train? I know you've got your business. You do personal coaching to people.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
It's called the Warriors Workshop.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, it's just basically just like one-on-ones, pairs, little classes, just teaching boxing, but whole boxing training. You know, circuit classes, things like that. Really, it's had a really good response. Like. Just so many people wanting to, you know, the whole boxing side of it, but the training as well. I think, you know, it just offers that where you have boot camps and everything else, and everyone wants to get fit, but this is a little bit more exciting than your average, you know, class sort of thing. So
yeah.
I've had a really good response, and I'm enjoying it as well because I'm passing on my experiences. I've been there, I've made a lot of mistakes, and you know, I can hopefully, you know, people can avoid making them mistakes. But, you know, my advice, so.
Okay, mate, cool. Well, it sounds really, well, yeah, I'm not surprised you've had a big response. From what I understand, you're a bit of a big deal in Cambridge. Like, you're very well known. Like,
yeah, I like to think so.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, do you know what, I think more than anything, I'm just good with people, you know, I'm understanding.
Yeah.
And things like that, you know. I've been on TV, I boxed on TV, but that doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, you know, when I'm in there one-on-one, I'm helping someone, I really want to help someone. So, you know, I think that comes across. And like I say, I'll get my thrills from helping other people. So
cool. All right, mate. So moving on from that. So what's going on? So like, when are you planning to make a return? Have you got a trainer sorted, or is it just, did you literally just think the other day, yeah, I'm coming back?
Do you know what? Honestly, I haven't watched, like, I've done my best to not watch any boxing for about 2 months.
Yeah.
But in my heart of hearts, like, I knew I was always going to come back. So my brother, who's actually turning pro, like now, he's fighting in November.
Oh, okay, wicked.
I've started going down with him. Met up with his trainer, Steve Whitwell.
Yeah.
And
okay,
yeah, just sort of went from there. Just really enjoyed it. Like, really liked the way he trained and everything else. And you know, we just sat down, had a chat, and sort of said, you know, what was the deal? Did I want to come back fighting? And yeah, I just said, yeah. You know, there's so much left in the tank. I think, you know, if I had that feeling that actually I've peaked and I'm not going to go any further, I'll just leave it at that. But I feel there's a lot more left in the tank yet.
Yeah.
Especially at welterweight. So.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, no, we're going to go from there.
Yeah, well, I'm sure your fans are going to be over the moon to hear this. Like, you've got a real loyal support. And I think it was Danny Connor said in a video on another channel that your fans will miss you too much for you to stay away.
That's been one of the biggest factors. To be fair, like everyone, like my Twitter, like the time when I said I was taking this break and retiring sort of thing, it went absolutely mental, and I couldn't believe how much support I had. But just coming back, and now obviously being back in Cambridgeshire, like being around everyone and that, just everyone loves it. I know everyone sort of says they've got the greatest support, but I think I actually have. Like they're just so supportive, in everything. They're just, and they've been around. I've been pro like nearly 5 years now, and they've come to every fight. They understand the ins and out of it now, and they're just really understanding with it. So I want to give them a few more good nights, and and hopefully we can get a few more belts as well. And
wicked. Cool. Well, so have you got like a time frame on when you want to get back in the ring, or?
I've just been, at the minute, I'm just sort of ticking over because obviously I'm doing my business and that as well. Yeah. Just getting that up and running. But I've said really that ideally I want to be fighting like November, December, really.
Yeah. Okay, so is this kind of like an opportunity for you to kind of bring more to what you already have and what you've already learned? Because you're still quite young, because you turned professional so early. Are you looking to change a lot in terms of the sort of fight you are in a way, and areas of defence and stuff like that? Are you?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've always been entertaining, and I've sort of, that's one thing when I've met up with Steve now. He sort of said, we don't want to take that. I've got a massive heart, and I'm always wanting to be in there fighting and things like that. But I've just got to be more clever. Not take as many punches, which is I've got to do to obviously prolong my career anyway. Just be more clever. I can box. I proved that against Boylan, against Danny Connor.
You did.
I can box, and I enjoy boxing on the back foot. But at the same time, I would have done that against Hibbert, but I was just so drained at the weight. Pretty much all I could do was go in there and have a tear up. Anyway, so I believe at welterweight, you're going to see the very best of me, because I'm going to have the energy to fight. I'm going to be able to train better and everything else. So I really believe it. I'll be a different fighter at that weight.
Yeah. Okay, mate. Well, this is all really exciting. Well, it's great to hear that you're coming back. It's great to hear about your business as well. Was it? And another thing I was going to say, like, to be fair to you, like, there's been a lot of times where you've taken fights at quite short notice. You've done that a lot in your career as well. So, did that kind of take a little bit of a toll as well? I think the biggest thing for me was, I was living away in Essex. And I was always, it's not a secret that the money in boxing is not great. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I was always worrying because I had to cover my rent, I had to cover my bills and things like that. And I was taking these big fights because I needed the money, and it just caught up with me because, I was 22, 23. I shouldn't have been really having these big fights, not consecutively. Should have built up, had a few 6-rounders and things like that. But like I say, I needed the money. So, which is completely the wrong reasons. And if someone said that to me, I'd say, they're completely the wrong reasons. But, I'd done it and I had to do it. So, like now with me setting this business up, it's not about the money anymore. I can take my time, have a few learning fights and things like that. I'm not relying solely on boxing to cover, my bills at the end of the day. Everyone has to live. So, man.
I can enjoy the boxing for what it is.
Yeah.
I've never been bothered about making millions. I'm never going to make millions out of boxing. But, if I can enjoy it now and, just hopefully get a couple more belts, that's what I want. That belt, I've got that English belt, and that just means the absolute world to me.
Yeah.
And if I can get one more, you know, I can happily live the rest of my life knowing that I've done something, you know, and prove something.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's quite interesting. Like you were saying, you're trying to stay away from boxing, and you set up a kind of business which is directly linked to what we're talking about. You say you say you love doing that. You love teaching people. Is that something you think you may go into in the future? Like I could, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I stayed away. I remember I went to Spain with my girlfriend, and I remember being sat in a restaurant, and the Andre Ward Paul Smith fight come on, and I just couldn't watch. I just couldn't watch it. I just couldn't watch any boxing because I think deep down it just reminded me how much I missed it.
Yeah.
But like I had such resentment for it. I just really didn't watch it, and I made them turn it over, and it just made me think like, oh, you know, I was that person a year ago who was probably like, my whole family was sick of sitting next to me watching boxing documentaries and that. But the whole thing with the one-on-one PTs and things like that, it's just like I like sharing my experiences and you know that feeling that I'm actually helping someone. You know, I like that and I enjoy that. So yes, that's what I want to do. Eventually I want to go into being a pro trainer. But obviously, I'm very young. I've got more to learn and things like that. But eventually, if I can have my own stable of fighters, and that's the dream.
Yeah, well, it's cool. You kind of probably wouldn't have worked this out. That you probably wouldn't have known that much about yourself in that respect if you didn't step away. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of, you know, people say things happen for a reason. That's, you know. Yeah,
definitely. I'm a massive believer of that, and I think the main thing for me now, I've sort of had a little sit down and think to myself, and I come into pro boxing to fight, at least fight, if not win the British title. And I sort of, you know, thought to myself, if I don't follow that dream through, I'm not the person I thought I was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not that person. So yeah, I've got to do it. It's just something in life that I've just got to do. I've got to come back and give it one more go, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, like I'm sure. What do you think you're going to do? Are you going to do something in your local area, or do you think, you know, because you sell tickets?
Well, yeah. I mean,
you're not going to have that much of a problem getting out. Do you know what I mean? It's
no. It's just we're just going to.
There's a couple of people out there who want to fight with you. They might be moving up as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I've had bits with. I've had Tommy Martin on Twitter already. Wanting a massive showdown in Cambridgeshire. I said, like, probably the only way I'm going to make 10 stone is if I chop off my leg. But if we can get a catchweight fight, I'm happy to do it.
And
if he's happy, I'm happy. So
as well. Oh, that would be brilliant.
Yeah. So if he's happy at a catchweight, I'm more than happy to do it. But yeah, my 10 stone days are well behind me.
Yeah. Okay, mate. Brilliant. Well, excellent. Well, it's great news. I'm really happy you're back. It's funny to hear that, as I said, people are getting on at you already to hear you back. What have you been making of your previous division? There's been loads going on. Dave Ryan's sort of become the main man out of nowhere in that division.
Yeah.
What do you make of it all?
Do you know what? Like I'm literally like, I know I can say this to fighters and things like that, and they'll think, yeah, you don't really mean it, but I am genuinely gutted that I can't make 10 stone anymore, because like welter domestically, it's unbelievable. Like,
yeah, it is.
There's so many fights out there. There's so many like good fights, and everyone's going to get the exposure and everything. So for me, like to move up to welter really is, I'm losing out. I feel like I'm losing out. It's a great division. Yeah, like I say, like Dave Ryan is obviously the leader of the pack. He's just come out of nowhere, you know, and that's great. I really like that. I think Dave Ryan, you know, he's got like 8 or 9 losses on his record.
Yeah,
he's obviously done it the hard way, and now he's at the top of the tree. And you know, it's great. It's great to see that. Yeah, you know, he's done it the hard way, and he's really earned his way. You know, he's earned his way to be the leader. So fair play to him. I really like that.
Yeah, I really like it. I really like the whole division at the moment. So you say you finally, mate, I'll end on this. Basically, you say you watched the fights at the weekend, just gone.
Yeah.
Like, that was the first set of fights you watched. Have you been catching up on all the other boxing you've missed since?
I haven't, not really. I've just, like I say, I've just been really doing my best not to watch it. As silly as it sounds. Just because I know I'd probably get that where I want to fight again. I to be honest, I watched it Saturday because Tyrone Nurse was fighting.
Yeah, okay.
And Chris Jenkins, and I actually really like both of them as people. I've got on really well with both of them, so I was quite sort of interested in that. And then I watched Sam Egerton as well.
Yeah.
And just sort of watched that because I sort of know him as well. We've messaged each other in the past and things like that. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, wicked. Well, excellent, mate. Well, it's been wicked to talk to you. Great to hear you back. And keep us updated on what you're doing, and we'll
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah.
Excellent, mate. Brilliant. Well, just thanks so much for coming on, buddy.
No, thank you. It's brilliant.